second round. So Weber having the track all to himself. Here comes the German. Can he improve? Massive effort just before the line to come to a stop, and it's over that mark of Badlech. It's a valid attempt, and finally the go.
Hello fellow YouTube friends, followers, fools and flabbergastas, my name is Mason and it's time for another easy PvE build guide. Today's build of choice is Power Berserker, in particular an update for the Jantai Wilds expansion. In the first section of the video I'll teach you a very simple but strong Power Berserker DPS rotation for instance content. In the second part of the video we'll make simple and cheap adjustments to that build to make it more suitable for general open world roaming. If you want more information regarding the gear and stuff, I put a link to the full written guide on the Guild Wars 2 wiki down below the video. In this build we'll be making use of the new spear weapon for Power Berserker. It improves Power Berserker gameplay in two ways. First off, it makes the rotation much more relaxed compared to an axe-based rotation with the decapitate spam, and second, it gives you a lot of range, which is very convenient if you need to be away from something and still want to do damage to it. In this build, instead of using dual axes with decapitate, we'll spam the spear primal burst skill Wild Throw, while using most other skills on cooldown. Wild Throw is the most powerful skill in your kit, so you almost always want to prioritize it. We'll also make use of a new relic of the Claw. This requires you to apply control effects every 8 seconds to maintain it. With Alacrity, Disrupting Throw is enough to maintain it, and Headbutt provides additional uptime. The open of this rotation depends on whether you use Shattering Blow or Wild Blow. Your elite skill Headbutt stuns yourself after using it, so you want to do something to prevent that. Option 1 would be to use Shattering Blow right before to provide stability for yourself. The other option is to break the self-stun with Outrage. You can just try out both options and see what's more comfortable for you. The DPS difference isn't large. After entering Berserk mode, the priority list is as follows. Priority number 1 is Wild Throw. If you have it available, use Blood Reckoning so you heal skill right after, because that will reset Wild Throw immediately. After that we have Disrupting Throw for Relic of the Claw uptime. Then Spear Marshal support, so Spear skill number 4, and then Maiming Spear. Finally we have Shattering Blow for stability and Headbutt. Or if you decide to use Wild Blow instead, Headbutt and Outrage. The cooldown of Headbutt lines up with using Outrage twice, so keep that in mind. In between all those things, just fill the gaps with auto attacks and win. In terms of breakbar damage you have Disrupting Throw, Headbutt, Spear Swipe, and since we're only using one weapon with this build, you can put any weapon you like on the secondary bar to increase your CC options. Alright, those are the basics of the very simple Spear Power Berserker rotation. It does great damage, has range, lots of utility options, lots of weapon options. What more do you want? Alright, let's hop over to the open world build. For open world, it can make sense to make a build more forgiving so that you can sustain on your own. And the first step to do that is to increase general survivability. The first major step that's useful on all power builds is to use a Relic of Zechariah. This will heal you based on your damage dealt all the time. Combined with Blood Reckoning, you can reach massive amounts of healing based off the damage you deal. When it comes to general gameplay, Spear gives you high range, which allows you to kite a lot of damage and keep distance to targets. Even though, as you can see in the video in the background, you can face tank a lot of stuff and heal through. A great all-rounder choice for open world is to swap out tactics for defense. Doing that will drastically increase your survivability and still includes strong enough damage modifiers. It increases healing, gives you invulnerability windows every 20 seconds on using Headbutt, persistent access to stability, and 2 10% damage modifiers that you can make use of. If that's not enough for you, you can use Might Makes Right and Forceful Greatsword in strength. That will come at a larger damage trade-off, but it can be worth it if you need additional sustain. When it comes to boons, this build basically covers all essential boons you'd want aside from Alacrity. To make it easier to cover those boons, you can use a bunch of exotic diviner trinkets from the trading post. Might coverage is very easy, all you need to do is to use Forceful Greatsword. For quickness and fury, the trait Heat the Soul in Berserker is great. It gives you both on using a burst skill. On top of that, I also like to use Frenzy for additional quickness uptime and another stun break on demand. Additional boons like Fury come from Wild Blow, and Thick Skin in defense will provide a bit of protection on yourself. I talked about the stability coverage when using defense before. If you want even more of it, you can use Brave Striding Strength. That will cost you a 5% damage modifier, but will increase stability uptime even further. Through the very good stability uptime, you can ignore a lot of incoming crowd control effects. Against condition heavy enemies you have a few additional options. Regardless of the weapon you choose on the secondary bar, you can put a superior sigil of purity or generosity on it, or even both. That way you can swap to that whenever you need it. If you want very frequent condition cleanses, swap to cleansing Aryan defense. That will also increase adrenaline inflow whenever you get hit. Alright, that's it for this video. Feel free to like and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. I hope this video was insightful for you and made you want to try Power Berserker. And don't forget,
this is a massive throw in the javelin.